The president weighs in what Joe Biden had to say about the Hollywood writers' strike. Plus, the unlikely hero as the Lakers pick up another big win in the NBA playoffs. Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Rundown. I'm Robin Winston. We have so much to talk about. More on those stories coming up in a moment. But first, as the end of the border policy, Title 42 quickly approaches, the number of migrants along the San Diego area border is growing. Efforts are underway to feed the increasing crowd. Officials say there are 3 times more people compared to just last week. It's not just food. Aid workers and volunteers are handing out essential supplies for migrants who are desperately hoping to cross the border into Southern California. And some have been asking for blankets because it gets cold at night. Charity groups are scrambling to put together supplies. As the clock ticks down to the end of Title 42, the House of Representatives will vote on a wide-ranging border security package this week. The Republican-backed bill would turn some of the Trump administration policies into law. That includes the so-called Remain in Mexico policy, which requires migrants to stay in Mexico while going through the asylum process. The proposal also calls for more resources at the border, including restarting the border wall construction. The House votes Thursday, but the bill is unlikely to pass in the Democratic-led Senate. President Biden is speaking out about the ongoing Hollywood writers' strike. He is calling for a fair deal that would treat storytellers with, quote, dignity and respect.
This is an iconic, meaningful American industry, and we need the writers and all the workers and everyone involved to tell the stories of our nation and the stories of all of us.
He made his first public comments about the strike during a White House screening of the upcoming streaming series called American Born Chinese, marking Asian American Pacific Island Heritage Month. As the strike continues for over a week now, several notable films and TV shows have stopped production or wrapped early. That includes Netflix's Stranger Things, Disney and Marvel's Blade, as well as Apple TV Plus's Severance. Comcast, a corporation that owns our parent company, NBC Universal, is one of the entertainment companies represented by the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. Also, some employees of the NBC News Group are represented by the WGA. The Lakers put the Golden State Warriors on the brink of elimination with a thrilling Game 4 victory. Lonnie Walker coming through was the unlikely hero. He came off the bench and scored 15 points in the fourth quarter, which was more than half of the Lakers' points in that quarter. And he becomes the first Lakers bench player to score 15 or more points in the fourth quarter of a playoff game since Kobe Bryant did it exactly 26 years ago. The Lakers won 104-101 and took a commanding 3-1 lead. The Lakers can close out the series Wednesday night in San Francisco. Meteorologist Belinda Leon is here and tracking an unsettled weather pattern that's moving into our area.
Hi, everyone. Well, here are the things that I'm watching. The temperatures will be below normal through Wednesday. I'm talking about highs, mostly in the 60s, some low 70s. We'll have some gusty winds in the mountains and deserts where a wind advisory is in effect. A small chance for some rain late Tuesday into Wednesday. It's not going to add up to much, less than 1/10 of an inch. And the weather is heating up starting on Thursday all the way through next week. So we've got that wind advisory. It's in place from Tuesday afternoon through the middle of the day on Wednesday for the mountains and deserts. This is where the gusts could get up to 60 miles per hour, so careful traveling through these areas. These winds could also blow around any loose outdoor objects, so make sure you secure them. The temperature trend is going to be cool, at least through Thursday. Highs in the low 70s. Thursday starts the warming trend, 78, and then summer weather for us. To finish off the work weekend for Mother's Day, weekend highs are expected to reach the 90s.
A tech executive missing for 17 months was found dead in the courtyard of an abandoned property in Santa Monica. This is a picture of Bo Mann. His family now has some closure, but they're still wondering what happened to him. On the afternoon he disappeared, the 39-year-old took an Uber that dropped him off just 4 blocks from where his body was found. LA police say his last text was to 911. That was just a few days after Thanksgiving in 2021. Nearly a year and a half later, his body was found on the other side of this fence. Here's his fiancée.
I just have a very hard time understanding how he could be so close to that last drop-off address.
Well, the coroner's office has not determined a cause of death. The man created the Sober Grid app, which helps people who are addicted to drugs. It was the #1 campaign promise of LA's new mayor, Karen Bass, to get the homeless off the streets and into permanent housing. But the unhoused who were moved out of tents and into temporary motels say the promises haven't been kept. Since the mayor's Inside Safe program began in January, the NBC4I team has been tracking the unhoused who were moved out of tents and into motels. The mayor says the city is now paying to put up about 1,200 people in motels, and as of the end of March, only about 70 of them had been moved into permanent housing.
Did you hope you'd be in an apartment by now?
Oh my God, yes.
After they showed you 2 apartments, they then told you they weren't available?
Right. So yeah, they actually broke my heart really because I had my hopes up.
The residents tell me after 4 months, almost no one has been moved into an apartment.
Right.
What's your reaction?
Well, one, I think that is awful. We have to move people much quicker.
The mayor told the I-Team she's trying to remove some of the bureaucratic obstacles that slow down the process of getting the homeless into permanent apartments. She's now seeking to set aside $250 million in the next city budget to keep the program running. Well, you gotta see this. A driver is seen on camera slamming into cars during a road rage encounter in Woodland Hills. Take a look. Unbelievable. This started with a fender bender last week on Ventura Boulevard, but the 22-year-old driver in the Mustang refused to get out of his car. Witnesses say he tried to drive off, but hit at least 4 other cars. The Mustang was just too damaged to drive away. Police finally showed up and arrested the driver for assault. One of the last remaining Tuskegee Airmen in the LA area has passed away. The daughter of Henry D. Polite says he died in West LA Monday at the age of 97. Polite joined the Army toward the end of World War II, right after he graduated from high school. After his service, he began working with the federal government as a weapons systems engineer. Christina Applegate says she's done with on-camera work as she continues her battle with multiple sclerosis. She told Vanity Fair that her time on the hit Netflix series Dead to Me is probably her last. She said she's happy to have ended her career working with co-star Linda Cardellini, calling her the greatest actress she's ever worked with. Well, Applegate says Applegate was diagnosed with MS about 2 years ago. Singer The Weeknd says he's set to retire his stage name. He used it for more than a decade, but in a recent interview with W Magazine, he says his alter ego may be entering retirement soon. His real name is Abel Tesfaye. The singer says that he plans to release new music, but also wants to focus on other ventures, including TV and film production. Can't wait to see what he does. All right, a popular drink customization at Starbucks will now cost you a little bit of extra money. So the company will now charge customers an extra $1 if they ask for their Starbucks refreshers to be made without water. Refreshers are a popular alternative to the chain's espresso drinks, and a spokesperson for Starbucks confirmed the change to NBC, saying the customization requires extra ingredients, and that's what they're charging for. So a grande refresher currently costs roughly $5. So think about it before you place an order. All right, it's graduation season, and this Friday, one young man will make history at USC when he crosses the stage and accepts his degree. That graduate spoke with NBC4's Ted Chen about his long journey to that moment, which included a kidney transplant along the way.
I will be walking in commencement this year.
Malcolm Jones wishes his graduation wasn't so historic and that there were other black PhDs to come out of USC's biokinesiology program, but he says it is progress.
I'm happy that it's happening, but I'm happy that it won't be so unique in the coming years.
But his story is unique. Jones is a child of immigrants from Liberia who grew up in Atlanta and had come to Los Angeles for a kidney transplant because of an autoimmune disease called lupus nephritis. After spending much of his young life in the hospital, Jones says he wanted to help people avoid hospitals.
My passion is helping people live as healthy as they can for as long as they can.
His specialty now is research into exercise and other ways we can protect our bodies against disease and injury. He was the first in his family to graduate from college, as well as the first black student to earn a master's in his program.
My dream is that the world is a place that no matter where you're from, no matter what your background, no matter what you look like, you don't get sick, you don't get hurt.
After graduation, he'll start a postdoc program as a director of health innovation at USC in a city he doesn't plan to leave. and wished he had moved to earlier.
I'd be a better surfer, a better snowboarder.
In Exposition Park, Ted Chen, NBC4 News.
A group of students in Cerritos is leading the way for their generation when it comes to reducing food waste. Emma, Haley, and Lauren created a lunch sorting line while on the Mary Bragg Elementary School's green team. The girls are now 6th graders, but came back to accept the 2023 President's Environmental Youth Award. Their project is called Getting to Zero. It includes a lunch sorting line, a share box, and food donation program.
Our students and our kids are change makers within the school community, the surrounding community, and the global community with their work and their efforts.
They helped us create a lunch sorting system that cleared 1,400 bags of trash, all the way down to only 80 bags of trash each year. We are all extremely proud that we are changing the world.
They are changing the world indeed. There are currently 160 students on the school's green team. It's officially blue whale season, and people off the coast of Dana Point got to see the 95-foot mammal up close. Check this out. This is video of the incredible sighting from over the weekend. And here's a little fun fact for you. Blue whales are the largest mammals in the world. This time of the year, the whales come to Dana Point and other nearby areas to eat fish off the coast. They're just looking for a little snack. And by the way, I'm adding whale watching to my bucket list. This is something that I need to do or I have to see. You can always get news and weather updates on the NBCLA app and our website, NBCLA.com. And be sure to tune into Today in LA on NBC4, weekdays 4 to 7 a.m. I'll be helping you get around with traffic reports throughout the morning. I'll see you next time on The Rundown.